I say let's go back to the Zoom machine and say hello to one of the best light heavyweights on the planet. Joining us from Vienna, the one and only Aleksandar Rakic. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning of the show, so I was afraid that I couldn't hear you. But I could hear you, and I think we're all good. And so we shall start the show with you. Okay. By the way, Rakic or Rakic? What do you prefer?
Rakic.
Rakic. Okay, I guess that's the Canadian in me. Like I say avocado, pasta, but Rakic.
Yeah.
So I apologize for
Rakic. Yeah, no problem at all. I get used to this,
Yeah.
So many guys are saying Rakic, Rakic. I'm getting used to this. This is a little bit hard, especially for in the other, Americans and Canadians or Brazilians. I'm getting used to this. They call my name a little bit different.
I like to say people's name the right way, and I'm a big stickler for this. So thank you for correcting me. So we have a lot to talk about, my friend. You were in the news over the last few days. We're watching the Anthony Smith fight on Saturday night. Great performance. He beats Ryan Spann. He looks great. He finishes him in the first round. There's levels to this. He's all fired up afterwards. And he says that he wants to fight you afterwards. He says that in the cage, that he wants a rematch against you. And you tweet out right away, I'm good to go in December, something like that. And then he responds, Merry Christmas to me. And so let me ask you, is this fight happening in December?
And I say Santa is coming. I'm still waiting, First of all, nobody was calling me out. Nobody, excepting Smith. And he has my respect of this. Yeah, like you said, he had an amazing fight on Saturday. He came in off a 3-winning streak after our fight. But Mr. Smith, be careful what you wish for. If the UFC wants the rematch, it needs to be a UFC main event, December 18. And after this, I'm going to get my title shot.
Oh.
So this is what I want. The Smith rematch is not a problem for me. I can dominate everybody in the division, and beat everybody. So, I respect him as a fighter. He did a great job. He made his improvement. He improved a lot after our last fight. He came in very aggressively. But, calling me out, he's basically the first guy, was something new for me. And I was right on it, So, yeah, sometimes I felt a little bit like Kamaru Usman before he was champion, because nobody was calling him out,
Yeah.
And after he beat Tyron Woodley, first of all, they say he can go on decisions. He's a boring fighter. And then he beats Woodley, and he became then champion. Then he's taking all the heads off. Now everybody is respecting him, and I will do this soon. I will do this soon, and Smith will be in December, the first one.
Okay, so a few things to say there. Number one, why December 18th? Is there something about that date that you really like? Why are you picking that date?
I mean, I wanted December. Why not? To close the show, to close the year. I think this should be the last event in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I checked the card. There is no main event yet, and I think he's also ready to go. And he said already, Merry Christmas, so it needs to be there,
Okay.
And I'm saying Santa Claus is coming to give some presents.
Now, I thought initially when I heard him call you out, I thought, all right, obviously I understand why he would want to run it back with you. He lost the fight. He didn't like the way he looked. You're on a roll. You're getting up there in the rankings. But in my mind, I thought, all right, the light heavyweight title fight, the next one is happening October 30th. And if you just look at the rankings, it's probably going to be Alexander against Jiri Prochazka to determine who the next contender will be. And then all this happens with you saying, I'm ready to go. Why aren't you fighting Jiri next?
Look, I want to stay active, I checked the rankings today, and Smith went from 6 to 4. He's now 4. I'm 3. I I was calling Jiri out the last months. He didn't respond. He didn't reply. He's probably the backup of Jan and Glover. So if these fights finish, it's another, I don't know how many months of layoff, for the champion who gonna win the fight, So probably the UFC wants Jiri next for the title. So this takes another couple of months, and I want to stay active, So if I fight Smith now, it's a good fight, but my position or my ranking is not gonna get better. Or if I fight any other lower ranked opponents, sorry. Yeah, I want to stay active, and man, Jiri has 2 fights and an immediate title shot. He gets so much hype and push from the UFC like many other guys, Like, for example,
I think you have 7 fights, right, in the UFC?
I have 7 fights. His time will come. He has 2 fights and he get a push, and like for example, Chandler. I think he had 1 fight and then he fought immediately for the title, right? But this guy, he don't even know how to speak English, right, proper. So I don't know why, but his time will come and he will be forgotten, like many other guys, like Johnny Walker, Volkan Ozdemir, They get also a big push from the UFC. They lost their fights. Nobody talks about them more for the title elimination. And they need to build the bag, the winning streak and everything else. So the same with Jiri, And he can sit and wait however he can sit and wait forever if he wants. But after I finish the business with Smith, I don't know if this will be enough to sit around and wait for his title chance,
Were you told that he's the backup or that he is next for the title shot? Like, because I see on your Twitter, you've been calling him out. You've been saying that you want to fight him. So you or your management, have they been told anything by the UFC about why they're not making this fight or why he's not available?
Yeah. I think the Jan and Glover fight was supposed to be on September 4.
Yeah.
And then they rescheduled the fight of October 30. So basically, Jiri was the backup of September 4 fight. And then after they rescheduled the fight to October 30, nobody knew if they're gonna be a backup. So I talked to the UFC and I calling him out. Okay, let's fight. Let's see who gonna fight next for the title. And the UFC said to me they're gonna offer him the fight. And 2 days later, I saw on the internet, in the media, he's going to be the backup again in October 30. So he didn't take the fight against me. He was willing to be the backup and to wait another 6-7 months. Man, come on. This guy, he fights once a year or what and get a title shot. I know from the UFC, they like guys who are active, who wants to fight, and not to sit around long.
Yeah, he's got a great look and a few finishes, and he's an exciting fighter. But if I look at his 2 fights in the UFC, wins over Dominic Reyes and Volkan Ozdemir, 2 finishes, very impressive. And I compare the names to your last 2 names, Thiago Santos and Anthony Smith. I mean, it's pretty damn comparable, right? I mean, okay, so you didn't get a finish, he did. Maybe that's the only thing that you could say in his favor. To me, it just makes the most amount of sense. Why don't you guys just fight to see who the number 1 contender is? That's the part that I don't understand here.
I'm ready to go whenever. I'm ready to go whenever the UFC said this. I challenged him for the last 2-3 months, and I am already better than all of those guys. Jan, Glover, Jiri, I'm going to beat all of them. It's just a matter of time. I want to be the champion, and I want to beat the best. And the best are in the UFC, and we are in the rankings like so high in the top 5, and I want to beat them all and show the world that I'm going to be the champion. So I don't know why he's waiting and why he's sitting around, But if the fight with Jiri doesn't happen, Smith would be great, to stay active and to show the people and the UFC that I improve also since our last fight. I had a hell of a camp, maybe a hell of a camp for Thiago Santos. So I beat this guy. This fight was not maybe the spectacular one, but it was an important win for me and over a dangerous guy. And don't forget, my career is pretty young. I'm only getting better from camp to camp, and in between camps in the off season, I'm working my ass off to get better. So yes, Smith improved after our fight, but I can say about myself that I improved even more.
You harp a lot on the Volkan Ozdemir fight, the split decision, because I know or at least you think that you believe you won that fight, and you think a lot about, man, if I would have gotten the nod in that one, I'd probably be fighting for the belt already, or I wouldn't have to deal with all this, this nonsense, these headaches. Do you think about that a lot?
No, exactly. To be honest, no, because for me this fight is a win. So I don't see it like a loss. It's and a loss on the paper. You need to to rewatch the fight, and even the UFC. After the Volkan fight, they gave me Smith for the next opponent, a guy who beat Volkan, a guy who is better ranked than Volkan, and I beat him pretty easy. So it could be like I like to build myself. I have like 7 fights in the UFC, and if the UFC wants another fight before to get me a title shot, I'm gonna do it. I'm not here to take my easy way and to come to be champion and in the next fight to lose the belt. I'm here to getting better, and after every fight I improve. And I'm growing as a fighter, and I want to be champion. And I told Dana White as well, I'm gonna be the new face from the light heavyweight division, because I have a hell of a team. And the first thing when Smith said my name in the post-fight interview, my coaches was already talking. Hey, maybe we're gonna fight him. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna change that. We're gonna do this. They're already thinking. They're already like, for me, starts the camp immediately. If someone calling me out and the UFC wants the fight, doesn't matter if 3 months or 6 months. We start the camp immediately, and we try to be even better in the first fight with Smith.
When you watch Anthony. Since you fought him, last 3 fights, he's looked very good. 3 great performances. Do you think he has improved exponentially? Do you think he has improved a lot? Or perhaps is he fighting guys who just aren't as good as you? What's your take on it?
Both of them, he improved, but with all the respect, these guys who he beats, they're not in my level. They're not in. I'm in the martial arts like 16 years now. I faced so many different fighters, so, and I'm living this, this is everything to me, this sport. So yes, he improved. Like the second fight, he won by like a calf kick, right? You know what I did to him with the calf kick. So I think he took this, or maybe, he realized, okay, this shit works, But he's an experienced guy. He's the most fights he has the most fights in the rankings in the light heavyweight division, I think. So yeah, he improves. He's more aggressive right now, and if the fight happened, I'm expecting a more aggressive Anthony Smith. But man, I can just say Santa Claus is coming in December.
And for you, I mean, like, historically, when it's a non-title fight, they don't run it back this quickly. When it's 2 guys who are kind of, historically, you'll fight again if it's, a guy loses the belt and they want to rematch something, but not these types of fights. Are you, do you feel like you might have a hard time getting motivated for a fight where you beat the guy a year ago? It wasn't that long. It was 1 fight ago that you fought him. This isn't usually something that someone in your spot has to deal with. You beat a guy rather convincingly, and then a year later, you have to run it back. Yes, I know he's on the winning streak, but again, unique situation. Will it be hard to be motivated for this one since you already climbed that mountain a year ago?
Yeah. No, for example, no. I see if the UFC wants that fight, and if we're going to fight, I see Anthony as a new opponent, and I'm not going to underestimate him. For me, it's a new opponent, but I already felt him. So I am motivated 24/7, 365 days in a year. So whoever they're going to put in front of me. Of course, Jiri would be the best option for me, because after I beat his ass, I'm going to go get for the title. But if it's not Jiri, if the UFC wants Smith, I never have problems with motivation and to get back to the gym and train, Like I said, in the off season, I work in my ass, sometimes even harder than in the camps. So yeah, my goal is to get to improve and to get better and to put, the outcome of the fights to be even better. And in the first fight with Smith, I made one mistake. I didn't finish him. So if there happen the fights, I'm going to finish him.
And since this happened on Saturday, any discussions? I mean, usually when two guys say, hey, I want to fight each other, and they're big names in the division, highly ranked, they usually try to make the fight. Any discussions about making the fight for December?
Yeah, my management is talking to the UFC. So I'm still on it. I'm still waiting for the call. And we're going to see what happens. I'm already start my training camp. So like a kind of camp, I make adjustments, So, and my camp and my coaches are already studying every potential opponent, like Jiri, Jan, Glover, also Smith. Now we study Smith a lot, before the first fight, but still there is always some things to see new. So we study them all, and yeah, it's just a matter of time when the news are coming. So I'm going to be prepared for sure.
Who do you think wins next month between Glover and Jan?
I think Jan Blachowicz gonna be the champion, and still.
Really?
I respect Glover. He has experience. He has an iron chin. His grappling is good. His boxing is good. But Jan had an amazing fight. Last fight, we fought on the same card against Israel. He improved as well as a champion. He grown, So I think he's in his prime. So I think Jan going to win for sure.
Are you hoping that he wins because now he's on a roll? You want to be the guy to beat him next, or you don't really care about that sort of thing?
Of course, I'm always with the European fighters. I'm always with them because the MMA is in Europe not so big like in the US. So I'm always rooting for the European fighters, and we are now 3 Europeans in the top 5. So that's big for European MMA. And of course, I would love to fight him and to take the belt from him, because he's a great champion. He made good fights, and he's a hard worker, and I respect it. If the fights are coming, it's no respect. I could go in and knock him out or finish him. Doesn't matter.
How's training? How's life there in Vienna now with the pandemic? Are you able to do whatever you can, or is it very strict?
Yeah, I mean, it was in the summer was a little bit lighter. Now the restrictions getting a little bit more. So I'm basically you can I can train, I can work. I can do everything what I need to live. So everything is open, and I think they're not gonna do a lockdown again. So many people are vaccinated there. Yeah, but they're searching, if you want to go for a restaurant or somewhere else, you need to have a test or get vaccinated. So yeah, it's a different situation. We never faced this situation before. So, but we get used to this.
Yes. And you're in Vienna now, right?
Yes, I'm in Vienna, Austria right now. Yeah.
Starting to get more attention, more media, more love.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty hard, to let the people know MMA is a sport and not just a street fight, But I'm getting there, I'm a good ambassador, for Austria and for Serbia, the whole Balkan. And my goal is to make MMA even more popular here, and in the future to bring the UFC here.
That would be great. Yes, when the world opens up again, that would be a great spot. I've never been to Vienna. I hear it's beautiful, beautiful. I hear Austria is a beautiful country as well. I'd love to go one of these days. I hear such great things about it. I know you're a big MMA fan, Alexander, as well. What do you think about the return of Nick Diaz this weekend? Will you be staying up to watch that?
Of course, I'm gonna be on Twitter live. It's nice, you know. He has all the respect, you know. He achieved many good things in the MMA world. So it was a long layoff for him, right? For 5-6 years, I think. So, and Robbie Lawler is just a great opponent for him, you know, and a great fighter. It's going to be fireworks. I'm very hyped of this, and I'm looking forward. It's good. It's good to see the Diaz brothers in the octagon, you know.
Absolutely. So to recap, you are down to fight Anthony Smith. You're putting it out there. You want it to be December 18th, main event. If they come with co-main event, you say no. Take a hike, right? You want main event. You want 5 rounds with this guy, right?
I want the main event. I want the main event, you know, before. This is very important for me. And look, just the other thing is, me and Smith were the main event in our first fight, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the co-main event and then the main event, right? So my management was asking us, me and the UFC, are this going to be a 5-round fight or 3-round fight? And we agreed to 5 rounds, but I think the other Smith's corner or Smith said he don't want the 5-round fight, because I understand him. He had so many main events. He don't want to feel the pressure. He don't want to feel another 2 rounds, you know. But it must be a main event fight. You know, I want the main event, a 5-round fight.
You're a main event fighter.
I'm getting ready already. I'm building a base, a conditioning base for 5 rounds now. We are now getting into it. And my all other fights, you know, for the title and the title defenses are all 5 rounds. And I know it could go 5 rounds, so I want that main event.
I'd imagine this time next year, back end of 2022, you believe you'll be UFC champion.
Absolutely, the belt will be here.
I look forward to that,
and then we talk again.
I look forward to that, my friend.
Maybe probably before as well, before also, but
yes,
with the belt here, we're gonna talk. Remember my words.
I will remember that very much. Thank you so much for the time, Alexander. Good luck to you. I hope you get the fight. I hope you fight again in 2021 against anyone, but that would be a fun story as well. And thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. My best to everyone in Vienna as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All the best to you.
All right, there he is, Aleksandar Rakic, a great young man who is doing great things in the UFC.